Hey, it's me, MLB. This new series, takes place in a somewhat alternate universe, one where Hawks and Dabi were in the government training facility together, so know each other well. Dabi has gone rogue and is with the LOV, and Hawks is still working for the government slash runs his own agency, but they keep on good terms, with a healthy amount of teasing and ribbing and pretending that they hate each other. They know you from when you did a stint in the training facility as well. I've done it this way to explain how Hawks and Dabi would be known to each other in this series, otherwise it wouldn't make any sense. So allow me to indulge the title of fan-made fiction. It's not canon, this is the MLB version. There are some triggering conversations about unaliving oneself and abusive relationships, but I write them very delicately. But if either of these topics hits too close to home for you or someone that you love, then please consider not listening, as this could bring up some really shaky emotions. So let's get to it. This is Intervention, Hawks ex-female listener, ex-Dabi. Enjoy. Another job well done, Hawks praised as he approached you. I didn't think I'd get this one. I thought you'd beat me to it, you replied casually without looking at him, keeping your eyes on the criminal that you'd just caught. You're quick on your feet when your quirk kicks in, he replied, giving you a side glance with his sharp golden yellow eyes. I'm just glad we're not enemies. Well, it'd be natural for us to be, but I know you think I'm hot and I think you're gorgeous, so that makes us best friends. You hid your face from him a little as he spoke. You know you lie more than you tell the truth, you replied softly, trying not to let the hurt sound in your voice. Is he still telling you lies? Hawks asked, very softly. Not now, Hawks. I'm working, he said back in a soft but agitated voice. The criminal on the ground looked up at you, then glanced at Hawks, who had a very smug look on his face. Not a word from you, you hissed to the guy, your eyes shape-shifting to the elliptical slits of a viper as your tongue forked out of your mouth. The guy immediately dropped his gaze and stayed completely still. You looked terrifying when you were in go mode. You hated it. He had hated it too. He told you no one could ever love you with a quirk like yours, and that he had done the world a favour by dating you. But then, he had left you. He had found someone so much prettier, so much more perfect. You'd been discarded like the disgusting mess that you were. You deactivated your quirk and hung your head, all of those pent-up negative emotions boiling up so fast that they almost made you sick. Hawks was still watching you and could feel your discomfort. He knew something was up, but didn't know exactly what it was. Something's up with you. I need to talk to Dabi about this, he thought as he sensed with his feathers that the police were on their way. You busy after this? He asked you casually. Paperwork, you mumbled. And after that? He pressed. I'm not in the mood, Hawks. You sighed. What? You can't have a coffee with a fellow hero? Your boyfriend's going to get upset over that? I'll have to have a talk to him if it's not him. We're not together anymore. You bit out with a clenched jaw. There it is, Hawks mused, keeping his face neutral. Just then the sirens could be heard, and you relaxed a little. I just got to hand this guy over and then I can get out of here, you thought, doing your best to ignore Hawks, who was still watching you from the corner of his eye. He stood by while the police took handover of the guy that you'd captured, and then you quickly stepped around them and shot off down a side alley. Hawks gave chase, but you were determined to get away and easily evaded him, making a beeline for home. Now safe in your sanctuary, you let the tears fall freely, walking to the bathroom so that you could wash your face. Sniffing heavily, you looked up into the mirror at your semi-disfigured face. Black and dark brown scales veined in from your right temple, across a little of your forehead, and a few loose scales scattered across the bridge of your nose and then down the left side of your neck. You had other random patches of scales on other sections of your body too, and you hated them, all of them. You wished they never existed. Desperate for you to possess a quirk, your parents had sent you to a laboratory that were experimenting with mutant quirks. At the tender age of 4, you were put through some pretty torturous experiments to try and align your DNA with that of a pit viper. You were supposed to be able to shift into a snake, but then be able to shift back to human when your quirk wasn't activated. But it didn't work. You were written off as a failure and discarded, but you still had some snake qualities that you could turn on and off at will. You could elongate your canine teeth to fangs and inject venom. Your eyes could shift to that of a snake's, and with it be able to use the snake's unique ability to sense heat signatures. Your tongue could shift to a snake's forked tongue and have the sensitivities that a snake had with its tongue. And then there were these stupid, disgusting scales. When your quirk was active, more of your body would become covered in the scales. They were helpful in blocking knife attacks, etc., since they were hard and durable, but when your quirk was off, they were still there a bit. Constantly teased and avoided for how ugly you looked, you'd always suffered low self-esteem. That is, until you entered the government training program and met them. That idiot with the feathers and the one with the purplish scars, Hawks and Dabi. They were so bloody annoying, but they were the only ones who hadn't called you ugly or disgusting. As grueling as the training program was, these two made it bearable. You felt like you had two friends that you could trust. They'd helped you so much. They even helped you meet him. He had been charming at the beginning, but then slowly he got meaner and meaner. It started with him saying things like, "Are you going to wear that? I think that dress should be longer to cover the scales on your legs. No one wants to see those. I'm just being honest." To things like, "Maybe you should put a balaclava on to cover your face. No one wants to see that." And when you got upset, it was, "God, I'm just kidding. Can't you take a joke? You're so uptight." Then later on in the relationship, there was the occasional lash out that would leave bruises on your arm or back. Rarely did he hit you in the face. That was too obvious. But it was often in other areas. Slowly, all of the self-esteem that Hawks and Dabi had worked to build up in you was stripped away until you were a shell of your former self. Then, when you were at your lowest, he had left you. It hurt. You didn't want to be around anymore. What was the point of living? No one wanted you anyway. More tears cascaded down your cheeks and your stomach churned. Thankfully, you were already leaning over the bathroom basin as lunch came flying back up. It felt cleansing in a weird way, getting all of that extra weight out of your stomach. You just wanted to drink yourself stupid and fall off a really high place. Wiping your mouth down and gargling some water before spitting it out, you dragged yourself back out of the bathroom and grabbed your wallet off the kitchen bench. You left your keys and your phone there though. "I'm not planning on coming back home anyway," you thought as you walked to your front door and then left. Whew, it's a heavy start to the book. Sorry about that, guys. Chapter 2 will be up tomorrow, so hopefully I'll see you then.